Hi, and welcome. Today I'm going to show you the Remix platform, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what's on there and what it is. And then I'm going to show you how to navigate it, how to make an activity, and how to use the lesson planner with the activity. And I'm going to show you different aspects of the web page as such. First of all, what is RemixED, the Remix platform? The Remix platform is an aid for stress management and the teaching of stress management in universities, primary schools, secondary schools, and all the way around. It is the repository of a former Erasmus Plus project called Spotlighters, where a lot of material was made to teach stress management in these educational spaces, and those are curated by experts in neuroscience and teachers and so on. So, but on the Remix platform, you can use the platform to make your own material with the activities already there from the Spotlighters, or from other people's activities. Right. Now, stress management is obviously extremely important in our day and age, especially in our educational system. And so I highly recommend that you teach in this. And this Remix platform is a brilliant way to get started. Now, first of all, when you land on the web page, you can see this is the start, which says what kind of different aspects of the web page are here. This starts with an activities repository. Activities are like the minor stones. Those are things that you do in classes, or and some of them are long, some of them are short, and so on. These are example lessons which actually can be over more than one day. You could also say it's a kind of course, and we're going to try out the free lesson editor. And then there's a toolkit, to teacher professional development toolkit, so that you can use to run a 20-hour teacher professional development course, so your teachers at your school can be better at teaching this. And you can also find additional resources down here from the project or created in the project. Yeah. This also includes the research and the YouTube channel, which is here, and also the events which have been given for educators. Okay, but let's get started. So I want to do an activity as a part of a lesson I want to do on breathing. So I'm going to go up here, and well, first of all, I can say activities right here, and then see what kind of activities are there actually. And you get to this page, which has a lot of different activities. Now, first of all, let's see. I want this to be in English. So I'm not going to use the Spanish, Catalan, Danish, Greek, or other languages. So I'm just going to put there. Then we've got only the English ones, right? And then the next one is, well, I'd like it to be something about our, let's see, the balance of things, right? Right, there we go. So here we go. So now I know that the different things here, you can see that the balance is actually about homeostasis and the autonomic nervous system and the sympathetic and parasympathetic systems and so on and so on. Now, I am then going to say that I want the purpose of it. Let's see, I want some practices. I want to see what kind of practices I have. Okay, so I can see that there's a test here, which obviously don't work. But there's something practice which is called progressive muscular relaxation, paced breathing, a belly breathing exercise, and a pursed lip breathing exercise. Now I know these exercises, so and none of them are actually what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a specific exercise which is called 4x8. So I'm actually going to add that. But before I do that, I can see that I can't remember, did I actually add it or not? So I'm just going to go to my activities. And then I'm going to go, well, okay, I need the purpose again. It's a practice. I can see I've done some different ones here, but not 4x8. So I can also say, well, most viewed. What are most viewed? Well, snap, clap, jump is actually most viewed, but it's not really a breathing system. And most commented and most liked. I'm not going to click on those. So here we go. I'm going to do a new activity. So then I landed this page, which then I'm going to go, well, it's called 4x8 breathing. So I'm just going to go like this, 4x8 breathing exercise. What is it? What is the purpose? Well, the purpose is, I've got the text here, which explains how it does, what it is, and so on. And then the purpose here is it's definitely a practice. And what format I want to do is I want to actually do it with a video and then add a link to the video. So here we go. 4x8 breathing, I'm going to call it. And then the URL is right here. There we go. I'm going to click that one and then put it in there. Right. This video is actually quite long, so I'm just going to write something about it there. There. How we go. Additional notes. I'm not going to put anyone there, but these additional notes could be like good ideas for when you teach it, or maybe the video needs something that you've that you only show the first 3 minutes or something like that, right? Okay. Do I have a brief example of activity use? Well, not right now, because I haven't used it yet, and I haven't learned any lessons from using it yet. But I do know one thing, that I actually know this can be a hard exercise if you haven't done pursed lip breathing, because it's kind of important to do that, right? If there's an image gallery, I don't have one right now, so I'm not gonna put it, but I could just add or drag the images right here that I wanted to use. So yeah. So there we go. I'm gonna go next, and then I need to just write who I am. Now, I can add my own name here, but I can also add a remix name, and this is where I come in, because I am right here, right? I'm gonna do something about the topic also, because it's gonna be in the balance section, and it's gonna be, I wanna do something learning how to breathe, sympathetic and parasympathetic, and that's it, yes. Activity details, but it might be a little bit too hard for preschool education, so I'm gonna go, you can use it at primary, secondary, definitely high school, university also, and professional training and non-formal education. How long does it take? Well, between 0 to 15 minutes. Language, English. There we go. And I'm gonna share and validate the So I want it to be validated by a team of the RemixED. And lastly, I want to share the exercise, of course, and I want it to be validated by a team from the RemixED web page. So I'm gonna share and validate. Yep, yes, please. There we go. 4x8 breathing exercise. You see, it actually, picked a random picture. So thank you for that. And there we go. I can also complain here if I think it's a very bad exercise, but I don't think it is. So, yeah. Right. So now I have an activity which can be used. And so that is brilliant. I can like it. I can copy it here. I can edit it here. I can even scrap it here. Or I can look at the duplication tree and see how many duplications have been there and so on. Right. So I want this to be a part of a course or lesson. So I'm going to do a new lesson then. So that's for the next one. So I press here for new lesson. And this is a bigger one. Now, it tells me here what I need to do. So I am going to call it step 1, introduce a name to my lesson. So I'm going to call it breathing the right way, actually. Not that there is a bad way to do it but as such you should just be able to breathe normally. But that's another thing. So I'm gonna call it breathing the right way, this lesson, and then I'm gonna find out what I'm gonna describe my design here, and I'm gonna write that this lesson is based on teaching the students, actually I don't have children, I have students, different ways of slowing down their breath. Right, so I could of course write something else and more, but now that's it. Now I teach secondary education, so let's go there. And what kind of topic is it? Well, it is still the balance topic, and we're gonna do more on that, but so we're gonna do something about that. The sympathetic and buried, and then so just click everything, especially learning how to breathe. And maybe not a definition of mindfulness, but yeah, we'll take that as well. So that's my main one. Now, I'm just going to use this image, but you can actually click here and then you can choose another image, but I'm not going to do that. So yeah. Cool. So that one's done. And I'm going to press the close up here. And then I'm going to go with learning objectives. What do I actually want them to learn? And I want them to learn the students should learn to manage their breath. I'm also going to put that the students should learn how breathing works. I can put as many learning objectives as I want, but I definitely say you should keep it to between 1 and 3. And then I want to describe how I want to evaluate this, and I want to run practices with the students That's how I want to evaluate it and see if they can do what I asked them to do. Now I want it to start Monday, actually. Oh, that's Sunday. So I'm just going to go Monday, the 28th of October. And then I'm going to end it a week later, November the 3rd. So a key thing is that I want there are something called session inside class and session outside class. So now I get a calendar and I can see here that there's something called session inside class and session outside class. That is if you want to do some flipped classroom teaching. So I'm going to add an in-class session, and the new activity I want to add here is called breathing intro, right? So I want to do that, and that's going to start on Monday the 28th, and I'm going to end it at Monday the 28th as well. I'm probably going to use a little bit more than 1 minute, so I'm going to go 20 minutes, just, yeah. And then, okay, so that's the first one. So I'm going to take an activity from the repository, and there I get the repository. Now remember that I'm doing this in English, so I do this. And what format I want it to be a video, and I want to be in practice. So because I chose assessment here, and that's not what I want to do. I want to do a practice. So here we go again, English. I want to do a video, and there you can see my 4x8 breathing I just made. So I'm going to add that one. Whoop. There we go. And I also want some theory on it, actually. So I probably would like some content here. And I want to do something. I want to do it in English. I want to do it with maybe some slides on breathing. Oh, yeah. Oh, brilliant. It's the first one. I'm going to add that as well. And that's what we're going to do that day. Brilliant. So cool. So I'm going to add there, and now you can see there's my breathing intro. Now, maybe I want to just check if my UDL, Universal Design for Learning checkpoints actually meets this. So here I get the checkpoints which I can take my my newly made lesson here. I can see, well, does this optimize individual choice and autonomy to recruit their interest? Well, maybe not, but it does optimize relevance, value, and authenticity, and it does minimize threats and distractions. So that's how we're going to do. I don't need to put everything down here, but I do need to maybe say that, yeah, it actually has to do with facilitating personal coping skills and strategies. And then I can click on representation and see whether or not, well, am I going to do this in alternatives for auditory information? Well, yeah, the video has some dings and dongs and so on in it. And I can also go down and I'm gonna illustrate it through multiple media, and maybe I wanna, you know, guide information processing and visualization also. So that's the one. And then is there some form of action and expression? Vary the methods for response and navigation. Not there. I'm going to use multiple media, so there you go. So by doing that, you can check out whether or not you actually kind of meet the UDL or some of the UDL criteria that you want. So I'm just going to add one more out of class session because I want them to practice. So I'm gonna do this one called practice, and I wanted them to practice 4x8, 4x4, or I could use the 4x8 or whatever. But I want them to practice on Tuesday, and I want them to practice actually also on Wednesday through Thursday. So there we go. And yeah, how long do I want it to? Well, 20 minutes again. There we go. There we go. So on that one, I want to choose an activity again from this one. Since it's a practice one, I want to do the 4x4, which is square breathing. That one, I want to add that one. So I'm just going to add this, and you can see down here, there's all kinds of materials here on videos on different languages. There's a material on images and so on, right? But this is my lesson here. So on Thursday the 31st, I want to add an in-class session, and so on. So there you have it. You can choose to also use something like assessments, and you can see whether or not you can actually have a understanding of stress and performance and so on. I could also add my own assessment, or I could ask them to do something collaboratively here, where they have to discuss things, or I can also ask them to maybe reflect on some things, like well, I could also structure some reflection, and here we have a lot of things there. And maybe some warm-up tools is a good idea to maybe warm up for this one, and maybe videos. Here you go, stress mindset videos for the classroom, and so on. There's also other things that you can choose. Maybe not that many in English, but for instance, if I was speaking Spanish or something like that. Now, let's say I'm done. So I'm going to save it here. So now it's saved. All right. Now I'm going to publish it, and only I can view my design. That's okay now. Now, when I want somebody else to view it, I can validate it here and press validate. But I don't want to do that now because, well, I'm not done with it. So I can also always kick it up and look at it later. So I can go back to the homepage and then think, oh, I forgot something. I'm just going to go back to the lessons and then go my lessons. And there we go, breathing the right way. So I can choose it this. All right. Cool. And now lastly, I can click on the community and then look at who the RemixED team is and who's a member of the community and search for them and so on. I can press the toolkit, and here I can get the option to download the PD toolkit in English or maybe in Danish and so on. So you can do the professional development stuff. Now, there are suggestions. You can use them as you want. And here are the resources, the other resources that the RemixED project has made. The research which has been made, the YouTube channel, and the events for the educators. So I hope that you try this out. A lot of the material is really great, and it's up to you how to use it. So have fun.